So, hi Chandru,
Hi.
I'm Anurag.
Okay.
So I'm doing an interview
Okay.
with you to just to know that what inspired you to take up the teaching. So generally people don't like doing the teaching, especially when they come from science background.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Hi. First of all, thank you for giving such opportunity uh, to talk about why I'm interested in teaching. First of all, the place where I was born, I could easily identify from those times. Uh, you know, kids just the way I learned, it was like rote learning. I didn't know how to learn. So that was the time where I learned all of this, like science, mathematics, all of these subjects through uh, just doing revising a lot of times. Like a lot of rote learning was there, and then somehow like I could able to get a good marks in the education system. And then finally I moved to higher studies in Delhi. So that's the place where I could easily identify the gaps between like my learning outcomes and the students which they are coming from a let's say some good schooling. Okay, and then I started learning from the scratch. I like reading science and maths, and now I'm interested in philosophy also. So that's the place where I used to interact with after the class professors in the university in my college, where they used to inspire us like anything. Okay, so that's the moment where I got really inspired, and plus, so there is something always you wanted to give it back to the society. That's the insignia of being truly educated, and also in addition to that, the kind of family background which I come from, my grandmother was a teacher for a long time. Okay, she was working among rural schools, and she did exceedingly well. Okay, and I know her the kind of hard work that she put up to bring the changes in the education system, and partly because of her also I was motivated to get into the education system where I could also go higher studies in some good institutions and come back to the society. And through teaching, why I've chosen only this field, because so I am a constant believer in learning something day by day. Okay, there is no full stop or learning. Okay, that's the that's the true nature of being. The one is actually learning.
So,
And
where did you actually realize that learning is just not memorizing something, but it is also about
yeah,
actively
so
doing
yeah, so
something?
that's where exactly after my 12th, when I had appeared for the All India Engineering Entrance Examination, I couldn't qualify because the kind of quality that they require, it was not met from my side. Then I have realized, I have discussed with my school teachers, and they said, because the kind of education that we give, given time, we cannot get into those deeper concepts, because we have to focus on the getting you to pass. So that was the paradox which is still exists in our side. And then I took up like 6 months break. I went to Hyderabad. I took a very strong coaching over there for like IIT. So that's the place where I actually came to know, okay, this formula is like applying here like this. So that's the place where I learned from the scratch. There is a different dimension altogether in which you can learn the concept, not just simply memorizing it. So and then I started learning day by day. So that's where I am here. And post my post graduation, and then I could identify I'm not the person I can sit in the laboratory, I can work for a long time. So because I was working on a hardcore physics problems, and so and then I had an opportunity to work with Pratham, where I could interact with people coming from other diverse backgrounds such as like sociology, philosophy, that includes you also. So then I started interacting with such professionals where you get to know there is a different dimension altogether, not only science and maths which defines education. Yeah. So then I started interacting with a lot more on education and technology, how the school system is actually functioning, all of these things which would actually which would enable uh, anyone to do better in terms of if you want to get into education sector. And then the place where and that was also the motive place for me to identify my true potential where I can become in course of time. So then with friends, a lot of guidelines where I could apply for the Teach for India fellowship, where I can express the kind of experience that I had it in Pratham, where I could actually see in while during the fellowship the kind of happiness. Actually, I am putting myself into the classroom there. I am actually experiencing it, rather than sitting in the office and developing contents, which would you're not actually experiencing it in the field. That was the thriving force for me to get into the fellowship.
And so when you decided to join this school as a teacher, and when you shared this information with your friends and family members, so what kind of reaction you received from them?
So my uncle, the one uncle family, one who lives in Manchester, they were so happy because they understand the gravity of the fellowship, and plus the kind of education in India has. Uh, so he was like huge support, and in the sense like he was talking, you will be fine if you do the fellowship. This is like family support from the family, and plus my mother was always like supportive. Okay, you can do. I mean, you can do much better than what you deserve right now. And plus my father was like very practical, and he told me casually that if you wanted to become a teacher, like you could have told me that I could have asked someone to help you to get into teaching, like somewhere in normal schools. But I'm not blaming anyone from my family. It's the kind of background that they come from. Okay, it's absolutely fine. And and also I had a lot of good support from the friend circles. So I don't have much friends, but very quite a few friends where I could actually seek them help out, help me out on these things. This is what I wanted to do. So that's the place where one could grow actually, because family members, they won't help you. Maybe in terms of monetary they can help you, but in terms of getting ideas how to move forward, are you moving in the right direction, are you with the right mind of people? So I think these things you can get it from the kind of friend circle that you have. So that fortunately I have.
Yeah. So also Chandru, you come from a village in rural Tamil Nadu, okay?
Yeah.
And you studied in Delhi in a really good college. Yeah, yeah, in all those places. So why did you suddenly decide that okay, so I'm going to teach in a school in Ahmedabad? Because like for most of us, it is a kind of very unusual decision.
Okay.
Because you may face some language problem here. Kids may not be able to understand you. So what was the driving factor?
So not only about Ahmedabad, but this was like way back in Delhi also, when I moved to Delhi for the first time for higher studies. And there were people a lot of asking like, you don't know the language, you don't even I cannot communicate properly in English, like Hindi or whatever. But I had a deep conviction, okay, so I'm going to study the subject. I mean, you're going to be in the university or college, so I'm sure you will find help, you will find people, those who are actually at your level. Probably you can learn from them. Yeah, so there is nothing as such that okay, you know only this much, okay, this is what you can do. So that was the limiting factor for people, those who actually don't believe in themselves. Yeah, but I'm the kind of person, I deeply rooted in having faith and having real faith and how to go about it. And also plus in Tamil Nadu, in fact, so Tamil, it's a very good language where, so if you're staying in Tamil Nadu, the kind of not opportunities, but you never know, because the world is like meant for everyone to live anywhere, if you want to really see the experience good things. Maybe it was the it was not the limiting factor for anyone to stay in their home state. uh, Essentially you would go back and give back to the society,
True.
but during your at least till 35 or 40, you should understand what's happening in the world around, and also
True.
you should learn the different languages, understanding different cultures. You never know, you might
Yeah.
get a good friend there, you might end up meeting someone, maybe probably lifelong they will come with you. A lot of these factors, and also the moment when I landed up in different states, that's the starting point where I started speaking. Okay, before that I was like, Chandru, he never speaks. That sort of mindset.
That
People, yeah.
intimidation went away.
Yeah.
No,
And then I started speaking. I had like many times done mistakes, but I got up again and again. I tried, pushed my convictions forward. So that's how I've grown up, and choosing Ahmedabad, because now I'm also like learning Hindi. I can able to communicate, but not that very deep manner. And also moving to Ahmedabad, because Delhi, I don't think it's a very viable city, because I lived there for like 8 years close to. And the kind of atmosphere, it's not so good. Like if you want to be truly teaching, because I experienced people over there. They're good people, but majority you'll find it they're not kind of having a deep
very
conversation
cooperative.
about any particular issue, or like if you need really any help, they will. Nobody's there to discuss with you.
So
There's no proper culture over there, and plus, but unfortunately, I had stayed in a place where you could actually meet those people, and they will listen to you. But that was very fortunate for me, lucky. I would say. And moving to Ahmedabad especially because there's two things. One is like you, and and the other is like auntie is there. But auntie I came to know later.
that's all right.
Yeah.
So now let's come back to your school.
Okay.
So when you first entered your classroom, so what kind of fear you had in your mind, that because you never taught before, and you were really new to the teaching, and also language is different, culture is different. So what kind of fear you had in your mind?
The thing is like, so let me get back to the institute training where I had my institute training, Teach for India training for 2 months, close to 2 months, where so over there also after the institute session, so you are supposed to actually go to the classroom with the lesson plan, proper model. So you are actually supposed to teach in the classrooms in Pune. So I was teaching for 15 days. That was very, it's not a good community. It was the government school where there's no teachers. One teacher is taking care of like 2-3 classes. And so I was trying really harder, but the kids are actually, nothing was working. There was no discipline in the class, and plus I was using the points for kids. If you listen to me, I was using all the strategies which I was whatever I have learned in the
Training.
institute, but that was not actually working. It will work, but you need to be consistently have to work on the rules, consequences, like classroom procedures and routines.
So
and
do
the
you
kind
do
of
you
lesson.
face same problem here also?
So that was the very tragic in the sense I felt how I am going to teach for the next 2 years. But having done that small training, the 1 week teaching actually, which will for anyone, which will set you up for the next 2 years. and that was much better than this school. Why? Because that is the first year intervention. They don't know nothing about Teach for India. But the kind of class where I'm teaching right now, handling, where it's a third year intervention of TFA class. So already there was a previous fellow who walked in the same school in my class. So kids know what the TFA system means. The thing is now, so the fear which comes to me is that, like, will I able to finish the particular lesson plan and time, given time? So that's the very alarming, fact. I'm constantly facing the very problem of not able to finish the lesson on time, because sometimes kids, they don't listen, and then you have to spend time on that, getting to the back, settling down. So all of these things which is distracting for other kids to not to learn.
So do others, like teachers in school and principal, do they support you?
Headmistress recently she moved to this school. She is very supportive, and the teachers are also kind of supportive, but I think for them it takes time to interact, because there's a communication problem between us. But I always tries to ask them, like, do you have any difficulty which I can help you out? And there are a lot of opportunities which you can apply. Okay, so I used to tell them, but not they're taking it up as a career choice, because they're just thinking my life is only this much.
So have you been really enjoying the teaching here, and would you like to take it up further and become a full-time teacher after you finish your fellowship here?
Yeah. So that was my previous plan, where I will teach for the rest of my life, because through teaching you are going to learn a lot. And now what is happening is that the teaching it's not about you teaching in the classroom, but also you need to understand the child psychology of it, and plus a lot of challenges, like the classroom is nothing for me, but the actual problem is coming from the home, because if the kid is like treated properly in the house, so I've seen it with my eye, where the kids are actually doing really well in the class. For those, actually parents are really good, they're very supportive, they're getting in fact like more love. Yeah, but some other kid, they're not getting that atmosphere. Because of them only, when they come to the class, they tries to express those anger.
So like, you kind of mean to say that you want to be more exposed to even social determinants of education?
Yeah, so there are other factors
too, which also influence the kind of education these kids get.
Because I think home is the best schooling. It was philosophers said, like, already. And because if I have a good communication, I can able to talk to the parents really in a very deep manner, so I can able to explain to them why is it important to care about your children for their future.
True.
And also, like, so for me, learning comes after the values. Okay, so I strongly believe that one should have a value before you learn anything. So if you don't have value, if you learn only science, maths, like any other subjects, so then again you become sort of
a robot.
Yeah, so
very mechanical,
and you don't actually be mindful of others in the futures too.
Also, you find it very difficult to apply those learnings in real life circumstances.
Yeah, so one should have a value. So I think it should be like reciprocal, where so whatever you experience in the class, go back to your house, reflect it, like give it, and then whatever you get it from the house, just come back and give it back. So I think it should have a reciprocal way of thinking.
So to summarize your ideas on education, so I would like to say that you would like to have more interaction between school and society.
School and society, and also the parents has to
take more responsibility.
They have to be like really invested in students learning. And what is happening in our school, because again because there is no time, because in 20 minutes I don't think you can able to teach even one concept
So that's why you face
Yeah, again
these
I find
problems.
it's a kind of rote learning because the kind of the knowledge we have, which I cannot really do it in